Welcome back, and today we're talking about By the Grace of the Gods, episode 8. So, like always, let's just jump into it. Episode 8, we finally see Ryouma opening his bamboo forest laundry business, and honestly, I have never been more excited about a laundry business opening up. It was a really heartwarming episode regarding Ryouma's business, and we see some similarities with his life, his old life back on Earth. We're definitely going to talk about that, but before we jump into it, let me remind you to like and subscribe. It definitely helps the channel out, and I greatly appreciate it. But let's talk about anime. Let's talk about By the Grace of the Gods. As we see right at the beginning of the episode, Ryouma is inviting everybody that has helped him along the way, like all his friends, all the great people that he has met ever since episode 1, right? He invited Jamil and his family, the leader of the Adventurers Guild. I mean, everybody he has ever worked with was invited to the opening of the bamboo forest laundry business. And it was quite fun, right? It was a gathering of friends. Ryouma is very happy. But of course, we also met two new characters, the managers that are going to be helping out Ryouma. Their name was Callum and Carla. They're like a brother-sister combo. Serge definitely recommended them. So they're definitely going to be great help towards Ryouma. And it was awesome having them around. I mean, at first, they kind of felt like robots. They were kind of talking at the same time. They were kind of, worried that an 11-year-old was running this business. And of course, Serge kind of told them, look, don't think this kid is ordinary, right? Like this Ryouma person, he's definitely top tier when it comes to business, because he's the only one. He essentially has a monopoly on cleaning the goblin grime, right, at an affordable price. And on top of that, his workforce is really just monsters that he has a contract with. So really, he doesn't have a lot of employees. All the labor is being done by the slimes, like the monsters. So it's not really hard work, right? It's more like customer service at this point. So Callum and Carla, they're gonna be like the face of the business. They're gonna be, talking to customers, telling them how the thing works. Essentially, the whole system, the whole workflow is very nice, right? You gotta buy that bag, and depending on the size of the bag, I guess you can stuff in as many stuff as you want, and they're only charging by the bag. So Ryouma really has two monopolies here, right? Because you have to buy the bag from Ryouma, his business. So you have to buy the sizes of the bags. I'm guessing he has like small, medium, and large. So you can only get those bags from Ryouma. And then, of course, he's the only one providing the service of getting off the goblins, grime, and any other type of laundry stuff. Those cleaning lines, I mean, they're definitely money makers. But yeah, Ryouma is essentially going to be a very rich person. As it turns out, he thought his business was not going to do very well at first, right? Like the first day he opened, he thought it was going to be like a slow day. So this is part of Ryouma's how he doesn't think like a businessman, right? Like he did not think him having a monopoly. I mean, let's be real now, right? It's a monopoly. He's the only one that can take this grime off. Of course, there was going to be a lot of people lining up. Plus, when he found out that, some of the adventurers were kind of passing on the word that he was opening today, and, all the services that he's going to provide, he should have definitely have foreseen that the first day of business was going to be a very, very strong one, and he should have definitely hired more employees, right? Especially since we know Ryouma's past, how he was overworked. We don't know exactly what the circumstances were in his old job, right? Like, could he have helped if they hire more programmers? Maybe they didn't. So Ryouma had to carry that load work long hours without a break. So I'm glad that Ryouma saw that fault when he was talking to Carla and Callum after that long day, asking them if they got a break. It's nice to see that Ryouma doesn't want to repeat what happened to him to other employees. He doesn't want take advantage of his employees, right? So he definitely went to the Merchants Guild to get more employees. So I respect Ryouma for that. It was an oversight. Mistakes happen, right? You cannot fault Ryouma for kind of overlooking this little problem that his business was going to have. I kind of wish Carla and Colum would have told him about this, right? Like, if they're supposed to be experienced managers, I feel like they should have seen this coming. Maybe they didn't want to say anything at first because this is like the first day that they met Ryouma. But I feel like since they're the managers, they're going to be the ones kind of managing the business for Ryouma since he doesn't have that much experience. I was kind of hoping we would get like a couple minutes of Carla and Colum trying to help Ryouma improve the business, right? I'm sure every business out there can use some help at improving. And I hope that Carla and Colum would have acted more on that, right? Like not just be employees kind of helping the customers out. I kind of wish they would have done more with the business, but it's all right. Maybe they'll do that later on. I mean, again, Ryouma has so many different possibilities he can do. He can open up a restaurant and start selling affordable food, because we know that you know, Jamil and his family, when they were talking about the food, they were kind of down because he told Ryouma that just because they're nobles and they buy expensive food does not mean that it's good. So again, that's another opportunity for Ryouma to start making a lot more money, opening up a restaurant selling snacks at a very, very cheap price. I'm sure he can use the slimes or whatever he can come up with to mass produce all these different snacks to make a lot of money. So Ryouma is definitely going to be living large. Again, last episode I did mention, or last video regarding last episode, I did mention that this could be a problem, right? He has that monopoly. It's great for business, but now the other businesses might start hurting because the adventurers are not going to be buying that much armor. So that might come into play later on, where we see some of the top tier, you know, sellers of armor and stuff like that. They might start coming after Ryouma, but he is part of the Merchants Guild, so maybe he'll get some type of help that way. Now, the whole business, the workflow, I mean, it's ridiculous, right? It's ridiculous how everything is so easy, right? He just gives the clothes to the slimes clean it, the slimes kind of iron the clothes out, and they even fold it. Essentially, he don't need no employees to do everything that needs to be done regarding this laundry business. Everything is essentially being done by the slime. So it was really great. It's good to see everybody kind of helping Ryouma out. They want Ryouma to succeed. So seeing all of his friends kind of posting those posters up, kind of advertising the business for Ryouma without him asking, that was great. Honestly, I can't wait to meet the new employees that Ryouma is going to get. Honestly, I would love to work for Ryouma. He seems like a very chill boss. Yeah, he's an 11-year-old. Not really, because, you know, he's from the past life. He was in his late 30s. So he's definitely thinking way ahead of his childhood. But we'll see where this one goes, right? Now that the laundry business is up, I wonder where this anime is going to go. Is it going to stay grounded in Ryouma opening different businesses? Or are we going to see him take more adventures and higher tier adventures, right? Because we know Ryouma can fight. He's clearing that mine out. He's constantly checking up on it. Jamil asked him to, so that's one of his tasks right now, right? Going into that mine where all the monsters were at, and he's kind of making sure no more monsters reside in there. We saw him doing that this episode. So I wonder where this anime is going to go. Is it going to stay with the business side, where he's, you know, going to open up a restaurant next, or whatever the case may be? Or is he going to keep on doing adventures, right? Because we know his business is booming, so he doesn't have the luxury or the time to go out there and start doing adventures. So he's gonna have to pick one or the other one, right? Unless he leaves the store to Carla and Colum to manage full time while he goes out and, you know, does adventures. That could also be a possibility. Now, the ending of the episode where he was kind of going to sleep, and we see that parallel again, right? Like, he had a very busy work day where he was very tired, but it was a different type of tired, right? Like, because he was proud of his work in this episode, right? Not like his past life where he was probably proud of his work because he did a good work, but it was different because this time he did it by choice. He was doing it for his business. He was, you know, providing a service that was helpful for a lot of people instead of doing it for somebody else that doesn't appreciate the work he was doing for them. It's a whole different world, right? It's night and day compared to his old life and this life now. And again, I do respect Ryouma for recognizing his fault in not hiring enough people to handle all the new customers he was getting. So I'm glad he's in on that. I can't wait to see episode 9 where it's going to head, because honestly I don't think Ryouma will be able to do both. He's gonna have to choose either to proceed with his businesses, open other businesses, and kind of like become a huge businessman, or go on more adventures. Hopefully we get the answer to that in episode 9. But overall, it was a good episode, right? It was, again, heartwarming. That's what this anime is all about. It's about the characters, about the relationship that Ryouma is creating with all these different characters. And, that's it. There's nothing really too much to talk about, right? We're not gonna see the great fights or anything like that. That's not what this anime is about. So for what we got this episode, I liked it. It was very heartwarming, a great day to close out the day. So yeah, I can't wait for episode 9. Let me know what you thought of this episode. Would you use Ryouma's cleaning service? Because I have to say, I do feel kind of weird with the slimes being there, right? Like they're kind of monsters to begin with. So I don't know. But overall, good episode. Let me know in the comments what you thought about it. And like always, leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you on the next episode.